Good morning, people. Sorry, I had network fluctuations. So, welcome to Bincom ICT Career Talk. This is this month's edition, and we are glad to have you here. We're glad to have you here. So, we run we are all about building tech talent, and through our Bincom Academy, Bincom Tech Internship, and the Global Tech Program that gives on the demand real life experience in tech industry. And we have our Bincom Tech Network where you get to connect with fellow builders and people in the sectors. So today we'll be discussing with our speakers in the house. We'll be discussing about the topic of of defining your differentiator. And with us in the house we have speaker Olamide Kosile. Olamide Kosile is the founder and CTO of Tech Tribe, a cloud and AI focused technology. He is his business, his company is helping businesses build secure, scalable, and cost efficient infrastructure solutions. Through Tech Tribe, he leads initiatives focused on cloud architecture, automation, AI adoption, and modern infrastructure engineering with a strong emphasis on practical innovation and real world business impacts. Olamide Kwesile also works as a senior infrastructure British government, where he contributes to delivery and support of enterprise innovations and cloud services within critical public sectors, with spanning cloud engineering, cybersecurity, DevOps, system architecture. Olamide is really passionate about helping aspiring tech professionals, helping them understand both the technical of building a successful career in technology, lights on how we can all go about defining our differentiator in today's tech space. So, Mr. Lamide, would love to hear from you now.
Mm. Can you can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Enoch, and thank you, everyone. I'm happy to be
Yes.
here. So I'm looking forward to inspire and motivate the next generation of IT professionals. Looking forward to having an exciting conversations with you. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Olamide. Um, Thank you once again. Uh, Going on the topic, we would really much love to know what you have cooked up for us in the inspirational aspect today.
Uh, all right. Um, do I need a slide? No. Let me just speak. How many minutes do I have? 30 minutes?
Come again?
How long do I have to speak? How many minutes do I have?
You have like a minimum of like 30.
Minimum of 30. All right.
Yes.
So I'm just going to let me see if I can share a slide. So I have something. Let's see. I wait a moment, please. Okay. Uh, can you can you see my slide?
Yes, we can.
I can see a slide.
Thank you. Wait a moment. You can see what I'm sharing. That's why. Just give me. Let me. Okay. Can you still see this slide? Just to be sure.
Yes, I can.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
All right. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Again. Uh, and like I mentioned earlier, it's a pleasure to be here. Before I start, I'm just going to tell you a short story. Um, for everyone who is listening and who is in the community of Bincom deaf. I started my IT journey in 2014, and it's very funny that I studied engineering in the school, FUTAG. And it's so funny that my first experience of IT was in Bincom, Nigeria, Lagos, Yimba. And I think I was enrolled for a 3 month, I think was it internship for the role of project IT manager. And that was what kickstarted um, my career in IT. I later on moved on to um, becoming a web developer before I moved into cloud computing. So again, great work you're doing, Dev Center, and thank you for having me. So I'm just going to go right into it. Now, the business of tech, defining your different shader. I've introduced myself. Name is Olamide. When people hear the word technology, what often comes to our mind is coding, cloud computing, cybersecurity, talking of AI. Or when you hear technology, what exactly comes to your mind? Is it tools? Is it certifications? No. The reality of um, the field is that uh, technology is beyond tools. It is also a business, right? And you handle technology um, just the way you handle other businesses. And in business, of course, we know being technically good is really important. All right. But beyond being technically good, being memorable is often what creates opportunity, right? Being memorable is what sets you apart. People want to see 10 CVs. People want to hear 10 people talk, and something should strike different about you. Something should strike different about you, right? Is it tools? Is it experience? Is it communication? These are very important part of it as well. So I will speak more on that as we move on. Uh, Now, I've had to speak to a lot of uh, growing professional in the tech world. And one of the greatest mistakes most people make is um, they have this prejudice of what tech is. And that prejudice is tech is tools, right? That's why you hear people call themselves, I'm a Java developer. I'm, I'm a C# developer, right? They've mastered the tool. They've profiled themselves against that tool, right? And one thing we fail to understand is the dynamic and evolving nature of the industry we have. 10 years ago, the programming language that was in vogue is not the same that is in vogue at the moment. Why? Because it keeps changing. It's an evolving landscape. That's what the business is. Right? Now, to be able to set yourself apart, you must be able to separate your professional person from a technological tool. Why define your differentiator? Why define your differentiator? I said 80% of hiring managers prioritizes unique skills and personal brand when selecting tech talent. It's so unfortunate these days that hiring managers don't even get to speak to people again, right? Um, when you apply to job, uh, it people 80% of times people who are at the filtering process, the sifting process was not being carried out by the hiring manager or by the people. It's either a software or a tool, right? And what that, for example, I hate ATS software. What it checks is keywords, right? Cloud computing, uh, uh, was your contributions. This is what I did. This is what I achieved. Your achievements, right? And then, of course, it's going to check tools. Compare the tools you named in your CV. Compare it with make a comparison with it against make a comparison against the job description. All right. So, but beyond that too, beyond uh uh what's it called? I know how to do this. I know how to use this. I know how to write code. I know how to design websites. What separates you from the other? What stands you out? Right. Now, standing out is it's very essential. Why? Because we now have a a highly populated tech industry where, I mean, I was saying something to someone on LinkedIn very recently. Um, for example, in the cloud industry, 5 years ago, you can get a job with just a cloud practitioner, certification, a certificate. Now, uh, even if you have a professional certificate, 5 certificates, 6, 7 certificates, you're still battling with others to get an entry role. You understand? So it's not just about certificates anymore. It's not just about tools anymore. Right? What stands you out? If I want to employ someone to my company, I don't just want to employ you because you have certifications. I don't just want to employ you because um, you know how to write codes, right? What other value can you contribute to me? What other value can you contribute to my organization outside the job requirements? What other value can you give? What separates you from every other person, every other developer, right? So these are the things we look for when you're trying to hire talent in the tech world. Now, uh, what are the common differentiators in tech careers? Now, I would say, like I used to tell to my folks, certifications is not bad. right? Certifications is good. Certifications it will open the door for you. It will open the door for you, right? So at least you have the certifications, all right? We are now in the world of AI where um anyone and everyone you can generate a CV to fit a particular job description, right? So now that employers, recruiters are now using AI to sift candidates. Uh, Candidates now they're also now wising up to also use that AI to cheat that particular system. So it becomes the battle of the most competent AI user. So you can cheat your way through you can cheat your way through 15, right? CVs. You can cheat your way through it. You understand? Because if you just need to understand how the software works. You need to understand the keywords they're looking for. I I will tell you something funny. When I was when I was designing a CV years ago, what I did after my CV was to add about 40 keywords, just under like a footnote, right? Just 40. Cloud engineer, uh, DevOps expert, list all the possible tools that I know you can use in DevOps or cloud computing. Either without considering the fact that most of them that I listed, it's not as if I know how to use them, but I know because I know what the software is looking for, right? So I had to cheat that system. Permit me to use that word carelessly. You had to cheat that system. It's the world of AI versus AI. Use AI to generate list of keywords to use. You understand? So beyond your CV, right? Certifications will also open doors for you. I've had the experience of a job that I got um in public service. The only question in the interview, of course, it was an informal interview. We just had conversations to know how I can assist them. They explain what they need. Um, so they asked me to tell them how I can assist them. And of course, I spoke. And the last question and the last and second question was, what certifications do you have? Right. I started to list my certifications. Of course, I used to buy certifications. I just liked to study. I used to list my I started listing my certifications, right? Now, what the certification does was to further validate uh, my argument that I know how to do it, right? Nobody would know if you know how to do it until you start doing the job, right? So your certifications will open that door for you. So you need beyond your technical expertise, I know how to write code. I know how to do this. Anybody can claim that they know how to write code. We all know that. Anyone can claim that you know how to write code. And expertise is relative, right? You can write on your CV, this is what I know how to do, this is what I've done and all. But how are we sure that you really know what you claim you know how to do, right? That's where certifications come in. Certification certifies that you have been tested and you've been proven competent, right? So beyond knowing how to do, get one of those certifications in your respective field, right? Just to demonstrate your mastery of specific tools or specific field. Now, problem solving skills, you need that problem solving skills. Don't be don't be a theoretical engineer. You can explain libraries, you can write codes, but when we describe a problem for you to when we give you a scenario and ask you to walk us through how you can solve the problem, you blacked out. How do you gain problem solving skills? It is by solving problems. It's by solving problems. We now have engineers who IT professionals who are only competent with tools but can't solve problems. You're competent with tools, you can't solve problems. I know how to use this tool. But if you give you a scenario of a problem to solve, there is no, that critical thinking part of it is missing. So how do you learn how to solve problems? It's simply by solving problems. I'll give you an example of what I do often. I build a lot of projects personally, right? And that's the way I do it. Uh, from my own personal experience at work, whatever I find difficult to do, I try to look for other ways of doing it, right? By then, I start creating open source projects. And I'll give you a very recent example. There was I was set to another government department to assist them with their cloud infrastructure, and they had no they didn't have any cloud engineer, right? They had a business analyst who was working on who was managing it. So it's a small infrastructure who was managing it, right? But the first thing I saw there was their cloud cost was very high. They were not monitoring it because there was no cloud engineer, and the business analyst was too busy to start logging into the console and try to look for the monitor cost. The moment I saw that, I'm like, um, I was not having that challenge in my office because we have other people who were monitoring that. But in such a small team, they needed something to help them. What did I do? I started thinking of what I can do. And now I'm going to say this, right? Leverage on AI tools, right? Don't outsource your thinking to AI tools, but you can leverage on AI tools uh, to boost your efficiency. What did I do? I went to AI, Google, type, this is the problem, suggest solution, no cost, simple solution. Suggested a CLI. So I built a CLI for them. I built a CLI, right? Give them a ROM book. So you can just open Git bash, run this code, and you see your cost, right? Now, these are the little things um, hiring managers are looking for. These are the little things hiring managers are looking for. Now, sir, I will answer your question. I will answer all questions after my speech. These are the things hiring managers are looking for. Beyond beyond I can I know how to navigate through AWS console. I know how to navigate through Azure console. I can deploy an app. I can manage. I can maintain an infrastructure. What else can you do? Critical thinking. When you see a problem, how do you intend to solve it? And how do you intend to solve it faster? You understand? So again, how do you learn problem solving skills? By solving problems. Be curious to know. And again, leverage on AI tools. You can ask AI questions. You can understand how to prompt AI to give you right answers. If I'm going to employ someone, I don't just want to employ you, like I mentioned earlier, I don't just want to employ you to do what any other person can do. I want something different. Now, uh, the third differentiator I'm going to talk about is industry experience and domain knowledge. Industry experience and domain knowledge. Industry experience and domain knowledge. How do you get industry experience? It is not, you don't get industry experience. You don't wait until you get a job before you start building experience. You don't wait until you get a job before you start building experience. Understand, you need to have a clear picture, a clear roadmap of your career. This is where I want to be, right? For example, let's assume you want to be a cloud security expert or a cloud security consultant. That's where you want to be in 10 years. And for now, you don't even have a job. You don't even have or you're still learning, but that's where you want to be. Design a clear roadmap. A clear roadmap. This is what I want to be in 2 years. It's just like I'm going to this destination. To get to this destination, I will have to get here. I will have to get here. I have to get here. I have to get here. Right? Set those smart objectives. Something achievable, something timely, something that you can track. You can track your progress. So how do you build industry experience? Now, you can build by hands-on projects, one. You can build also by proxy, learning from people already who are already in the industry. So I'm going to explain the two shortly. What do you build by a hands-on project? It's still part of the problem-solving skills we're talking about. Identify a problem in the industry and build a solution to solve that problem. Build a solution to solve that problem. You don't have to build an enterprise level solution, right? I'll give you an example. Um, you're thinking of working in you're thinking of working in let us assume you studied medicine in the university and you want to be and you want to transition into IT, right? Now, because you have a background in medicine, that should be an edge to you. That should give you an edge. How do you build industry experience? Start looking for problems in that industry that you're very familiar with, right? Now your familiarity is an advantage that any other IT professional will not have. I have an engineering background. You have a medical background. If I'm going to design an IT solution for the medical industry, right? You will understand it more than I do because you have that background, you have that prerequisite knowledge of how things operate there. So find a problem in an industry, build a solution to solve that problem. Build a solution to solve that problem. That is my answer. Um, Secondly, by proxy, talk to people. Talk to people. You want to be a DevOps engineer. You want to be a DevOps engineer, and you use your phone 7 hours a day. You're on social media, and six out of that 7 hours, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, where you have LinkedIn, where professional conversations are happening. You understand? Talk to people, connect, go on LinkedIn, look for like I said, you have a roadmap. No, you have a roadmap. This is where I want to be in 10 years. In 2 years, this is where I want to be. Look for people who are already in that level of 2 years. Connect to them. Send them message. Speak to them. Have a meeting. 10 minutes. Do you have 10 minutes to speak? Ask them questions. Build a network of your destination. The network of your destination. People where you want to go, who you want to be. People are already there. Make connections with them. Ask them questions. You don't have to necessarily be employed into a specific a feed before you have knowledge of that feed. Social media is not an advantage. Leverage on it. Leverage on LinkedIn connections. Said you can build industry experience either by hands-on experience or by proxy, by connection, communicating with people, going for uh, going for technical sections, going for conferences, coming to events like this. We hear people talk. Understanding is built by information. Understanding is built by information. You can know it. You can know how to do a thing without doing that thing. You can be well informed about a subject, and you've never been physically in practicing that particular subject. It is possible. So you can acquire that experience, that knowledge by either building hands-on, having hands-on, building a hands-on project by speaking to people. And I want to say something again about domain knowledge, right? Which is one of the issues people have these days. You are jack of all trades, right? And you are just expert of none. I'm going to be using cloud because that's my field. That's what I know how to talk most. That's what I know best. AWS has over 200 services. Don't 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 devote your time learning all the services. It's a waste. No organization in this world utilizes all cloud services. No, none, none. You have a better chance of growing in your career when you are an expert in a thing than having basic knowledge of everything. Is having basic knowledge of everything bad? No. But have a specific domain. If you want to focus on database, focus on it, be good at it. If you want to focus on security, focus on it, be good at it. If you want to focus on networking, focus on it, be good at it. So build that expertise in a domain. Build that expertise in a domain. And one thing I want to say, before I skip my mind, when you build a hands-on experience, either on your job, either personal projects, always seek out for measurable results. Measurable results. Why did you do this? What result did you get out of it? Don't just do things because you want to do it. What result do you get out of it? Oh, I was able to reduce downtime by 50%. I was able to reduce cost by 20%. I was able to minimize engineers' overhead by 8%. These are the things uh, hiring managers are looking for when we are having conversation. They don't just want to hear, you know how to do this, you know how to do this. Or the things you've said you've done. What is the result? What is the result? Now, communication and teamwork skills. Now, communication is very important. Communication is very important. Teamwork skills. People want to work with uh, a leader. People want to work with a leader. Uh, True communication and teamwork is uh, two most important traits of a leader. You're able to communicate with uh, your team members. You're to be able to communicate with uh, uh, board members. You're able to break technical conversations down to non-technical audience. So learn how to communicate, both technical, uh, both technically and non-technically. How do you learn how to communicate? By communicating. By communicating. By communicating. Look for someone, look for someone who is below you in learning. Talk to them. Use them to learn how to communicate. Speak to someone. Speak. Listen to people speak as well. Listen to people speak. You want to build a career in IT, and you've never been to an event, you've never been to a conference, you've never been to a tech workshop, you've never been to nothing. All these skills they are soft skills, right? They are soft skills, but they go a long way in what you become in your tech career. Nobody wants to hire someone who can communicate. I used to be an introvert, but unfortunately I cannot anymore because I was forced out of it anyway. I've had to just explain. I was explaining a senior staff of our organization. The EBS volume was EBS volume was provisioned. It wasn't used. It was costing the department. I was saying let's just create a snapshot and delete this. And if you ever need it again, you can just recreate the EBS volume expansion. He said he does not understand. Now, what did I do? I looked for something that is very familiar with. He has a laptop. Unfortunately, he also has an external hard drive. I started using external hard drive on your laptop. Okay, let's assume uh, you bought a laptop of 200 gig, right? And because the laptop capacity is small, you went ahead to buy an external hard drive of 5 gig or 10 gig just to support. But because you are not currently using, you think you would exhaust the memory of the capacity of the laptop, but you're not able to exhaust it. You eventually did not use it for anything, right? Now you can now detach that pattern. Then it was able to understand, right? I knows how to communicate to non-technical people. So learn how to communicate, practice communication, right? Look for people to teach. I used to tell the junior guys that works with me, go to secondary schools, go and teach them about your field. It's funny. Look for kids, talk to them about your field. Explain to them in the way they can understand. That's how you build communication skills. You build communication skills by speaking. You build it by speaking. And learn how to work with people. Teamwork. Learn how to take criticism. Learn how to take criticism. Don't be defensive. Don't think when someone criticizes your job, they hate you. Mind me, I'm a talker. How many minutes do you have? I've left. So beyond the basics, creating your unique differentiator, combine technical skills with business understanding, right? Don't just have technical skill. I mean, like I said again, you must have a clear roadmap of who you want to be in this IT career, your IT field. You must have the idea. So if you don't have this clear roadmap, you can't grow. You can't grow. You just you just be you just be following trends. The first four, 5 years of my career, I was learning everything. I was learning everything because there was no clear roadmap. When I left Bincom, after my internship, I started learning .NET framework, C Sharp. because I had a friend who was doing that, who was building laptop softwares. I said, that's what I want to do. I did that for 6 months. Then I saw someone who was doing data. I jumped to data. I started doing data. I did that. Then jumped to this, jumped to that, became a web developer, did Java, did almost 4 years. I was just everywhere. Why? Because there was no clear roadmap. Imagine dedicating that 4 years into learning a domain. 4 years is enough to make you an expert. Okay. So combine technical skills with business understanding. Know where you want to be. Know what you want to be. Take time to understand that field. If you want to work in fintech, understand. Take time to understand the business of fintech. Take time to understand it. It's not just about tools. Research. Talk to people in the financial industries, in banking industries. Talk to them. You want to work, if it's edutech, talk to people in the education industry. Understand the business of education. So beyond business, beyond technical skills, understand deep business understanding as well. Instead, you need to understand how technology drives business outcomes. Now, I- I've spoken about examples of strong differentiators in tech areas, right? Um, be an expert of something, focus on something, create a niche for yourself. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. Your choice might not be plain now, it might not be invoked, it might not be, but focus on it, be an expert in it. If you're an expert in something, people will listen to you. People will listen to you. If you're an expert in animal abortion, I don't know if it's something like that. If you're an expert in animal abortion, people will listen to you speak. If you understand. So there is no subject that is irrelevant. People will listen to someone who has a knowledge of something. Now, it's something I was going to talk about. Branding. Branding. You need to treat yourself like a product. Treat yourself like a product. Imagine you're building a product and you have hundreds of competitors, competitions. How do you set yourself apart? Branding. Branding. You're an IT person. You're an IT person on LinkedIn. And from what you post every day, we don't even know your profession. Today it's politics. Tomorrow it's we post about war. Next tomorrow it's relationship. People are watching. People are watching you, both online and offline. People are watching you. People are watching you. I started posting on LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn since 2014, 2013 actually. I started posting on LinkedIn last year, October, right? I started posting now. What do I post? I post what I talk about. I have mentorship sessions with folks. Whatever I talk about, I post. Whatever I write about, I write articles on Medium, I post. Whatever I do, whatever I build, I post. Right? I was amazed at people who are not my connections. They are not my connections. I was amazed at the caliber of people who contacted me, sent me the DMs. I was amazed at the number of job opportunities that was sent to me. There is no week, there is no week that I don't get at least three, four. No week, no week. Why? People are watching. Most of the people who reached out to me, they were not my connections. But people are watching you. So you must treat yourself like a product. You want to beat competitors. How do I position myself? Like I said, it's both online and offline. How do you position yourself? Offline. At work, how do you position yourself? When you interact with people, how do you position yourself? As far as tech career is concerned, every move must be strategized. Every move must have a goal. And your goal is to impress. Your goal is to position yourself as an expert in something. Your goal is to position yourself as someone who is competent in what you do. Do you understand? What do you post on LinkedIn? What do you share? In your workplace, what do you share? What do you talk about? Let me give you a scenario. If you have two people at your workplace, and one is always talking about football. Every discussion is football, 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 football. And you have someone else who is just talking about new tools, new technologies, what is happening in this field and all. If you have an opportunity for someone to go and speak technical subject, who would you choose? Who would you ask first? If you have an opportunity for someone to solve a technical issue, who would you ask first? So every action, every word you say, every disposition gives an impression. I mean, this is a professional contest. Gives an impression of who you are. Are you competent? Are you a leader? So you must treat yourself as a product. Treat yourself as a product. Now, um, getting close to the end of my talk. Differentiator comparison. We have common and unique. Right? So why common differentiators establish your foundation? Unique differentiators set you apart and open doors to new career opportunities. Right? Leadership role, business ventures, the competitive tech landscape. We're talking about common differentiators, talking about technical skills, programming proficiency, and all. But we're talking about unique differentiator, talking about clear vision and critical thinking. How do you think? How do you process things? Right. Curiosity, problem solving skills. Another example of common differentiator, industry certification and experiences. No certification and experiences. Then another unique one is innovation mindset and adaptability. That innovation mindset still brings me down to uh, problem solving skills. I'll give you an example. I did a job interview for with an organization, a very big energy organization, right? I didn't eventually get the job, and I would tell you um the comment the after the interview. In the interview, uh, they will ask you question, of course, scenario based answers and questions. Ask you questions, you give them a scenario of how you're able to solve it. 80% of the answers I gave were not um I had this problem with our infrastructure, and this is what I do. Anyone can do that. Anyone can go to Google and Google how to create S3 bucket, how to sort my EC2, how to, anyone can do that. You understand? So something to stand you. Something must stand you out. Most of the things I talked about were the things I built, the problems I saw, and how I provide solution, how I design the solution. Something like staff overhead, we're not able to manage our security. We're not able to monitor security posture. Very what did I do? Integrated AI monitoring, Slack webhook, receive receive our what's it called? Security alerts on Slack on the go. Everybody has it on their phone. Anywhere you are, you can be on break. You receive the alert, you know something is wrong. You don't have to log it. At the end of the interview, I did eventually get the job. At the end of the interview, when they were going to send me the feedback email, what they said, right? What they said, my strength was that innovative part, problem solving skills. You can go out of the way, you think inside the box. They loved it about me. Something they loved about me. Everybody wants someone who wants to do much more than what they are paid to do. Who wants to think much more than what they are paid to think. If I build a company, if I'm building a company and I want my company to grow, right? Purpose driven. I want my company to grow. I want to hire people who have clear vision, people who can think. So think outside the box. Be creative. Be innovative. And again and again and again. Leverage on the technological tools that you have. AI. Leverage on it. Leverage on it. 60 to 70% of the things I've built, you've used AI. But who cares? What people care about is the problem you're solving. We don't just have that common differentiator. I can write cleaner code than my colleague. Yeah, that separates you. I might have more certifications. That's good. But beyond that, in the public sector, they'll call it big picture, seeing the big picture. Can you see beyond your job description? Can you see beyond that? What does your how does your vision aligns with organizational objectives? Those are the people we are looking for. People who will spur us to grow. People who are thinking of better ways to do something. And that should always be your question. Wherever you get to, whatever you are doing, how 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 can I do this better? How can I do this better? How can I improve this? These are the things that stands you out. Problem solving mindset. So now it's an action plan. Define and leverage your differentiator. Transform your career by taking deliberate steps to identify what makes you unique. Follow this action plan to define, develop, and showcase your personal differentiator in the competitive tech industry. Now, it's not a one size fits all, right? Your journey will be different from my journey. Why? Because environment factor is there, financial factor will be there. A lot of things that could influence how we grow and how we set our roadmap. Now, honestly, first one is you have to have an honest assessment of yourself, right? Identify your strengths, identify your passions. What am I passionate about? What am I passionate about? What are my unique abilities? Identify that. Then when you identify that your strength, what you can do most, then build your brand around your strength. Build your brand around your strength. If it is leadership you think is your strength, build your brand around tech leadership. If it is AI governance, build your brand around the AI governance. Like I said, have a niche. Create a specialization for yourself. The third one is market research. You need to understand the industry needs. Of course, the industry needs are also evolving, just as our technology evolves. You need to understand what the industry needs. For example, if you're talking about AI now, you're talking about AI automation. Everybody wants to make things fast. What are the opportunities that I imagine from this AI automation market? How do I position myself? Assess yourself. What's the strength that I have? If it is leadership, how does that leadership correlate? How does it intersect with the opportunities coming from this market? And the last one is demonstrative value. I've said that it's part of branding. You need to showcase what you're doing. You need to showcase what you're doing. It's good that you are everywhere on social media. You have 6 social media platforms that you operate on. But the question you want to ask, my audience, where are they? Are my audience on Facebook? Are my audience on LinkedIn? Are my audience on X? Make that your main platform. Share what you're doing. Share what you're doing. Share what you're doing. And don't forget I said something. Don't use the number of likes and engagement. Don't use the number of likes and engagement to rate your impact. People are watching. You have more people watching that are not commenting than people who are watching and engaging. Now I will use myself as an example again. I get more direct messages from the posts I make than comments. More direct messages. I wrote an article a few days ago. And I had someone message me to say, can they use this article in their company? I said, why not? Use it, put my name and send a picture to me. Make sure you had me as the writer. And the person didn't engage my post. So don't think people are not watching. When you do it the first time, you post once, you post twice, you post 3 times, you post 4 times. But when they see it, they will think you are just posting. But the moment you post 50 times, if someone see you post on a particular subject 50 times, you will impress them as an expert in their field. If they ever have a question in that field, you will be one of those people who will come to their mind. That's how it works. Share what you're building. Share what you're building. And don't wait until you are an expert. Don't wait until you are an expert. Share what you're building. Talk about it. Right? Again, said self-assessment, identify your strengths and your passions and your unique abilities. Then you build your brand around your strength. You cannot be everything, but you have to be something. You can't be everything, be something. Build your brand around that your strength. Research market, whatever your target market is. Make a research. Look at the opportunities in that market. See how those opportunities intersect with your brand, your strength. Then start posting about it. Start sharing things about it. People will see you. Right. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you. Just close with this quote. Your uniqueness is your greatest business asset. That thing that sets you apart. Uh, don't think you must do what every other person is doing. Focus on your strength. That uniqueness is your greatest business asset. Define it, own it, and let it lead you to success. So, thank you again for listening. I don't know if it's time to take questions, but I can see a question here.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Question. So the first question I have here is that, sir, talk more on the cost part side. It's extremely important as your cost management specifically. Thank you. Now, so uh, um, and I make Anthony. So, Anthony, let me answer this first, and you go ahead. This is from Innocent. Now, the cost part, the cost part. This is what happened, and this is what I did. Right. Um, we were having these issues. Like I said, I was sent to assist the department, and we're having these issues with. They were having issues with. They didn't have a cloud engineer. They were just about five delivery manager, platform manager, two business analysts, and a caseworker. So they were not monitoring. They were not monitoring the infrastructure, but they have to pay at the end of every month. So they just go to maybe when it's time to pay at the end of the month. AWS, for example, will send you your bill via email. So just send them via email, and you need to make payment. The people, why are we not seeing this? Right. So they complain about that. Because of course, they are not cloud engineers. They needed another way to monitor their cost. Right. Their greatest problem, their greatest challenge was having to log into AWS every now and then. And if you work in a public sector, your logins has to, of course, you also have multi-factor authentication, wait for VPN connection. That takes almost 2-3 minutes, right? Then before you now, they don't really have time for that. So what I provided for them, I just thought about it. I went to LinkedIn. What can I said LinkedIn, Claude, what can I do? This, blah, blah, blah. Claude suggested a CLI. It's a CLI, right? So what they need to do is just open their cloud shell, right? Go into the directory and run specific codes that I've already highlighted for them in a run book. So they can just check cost for particular month, compare cost, and all. Just visualized, easy to read, right? So uh, that was what we did with the cost. So I built the project as an open source. In fact, it was I posted it on my LinkedIn few days ago. It's an open source project, very light and easy to use. So these are things you can do. I leverage on AI to see a problem, see faster ways of doing it. Ask Claude, ask ChatGPT. They will suggest for you. If you can't write code, use Claude to write code. Yeah, use Claude to write code. Test it until it works. And whenever it works, you deploy and you run it. Right. Um, I hope that answered your question, Innocent. Nameka, please, you can go ahead.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you, even though your line is breaking, but I can hear your voice, but it's not clear.
Okay. Thank you for the session, sir. My question is, let me say, as a beginner in tech space, how do you discover your strengths and weakness?
How did I solve my time? That's so now
Hello?
I made mention of something. Yeah, I can hear you. So I made mention of something, right? I moved into tech. Business when I started with Bincom in 2014. Uh, my first 4 years, my first 4 years. right, was everywhere. It was a wasted. I was learning everything, cybersecurity, data. I was learning everything. I was doing a lot. I eventually got a job as an IT based on the multiple experience, which in fact came in handy at the end of the day. I eventually got a job as an IT supervisor in Abuja then, right? But even while doing that, I I am more of an hands-on person, right? I like to do. I like to do. I'm more of an hands-on person. So that was my strength. I like to do. I don't like to read. Secondly, I don't like to do the same thing over and over and over. So I can't survive in a regimented environment where everything we do is routine, right? We do the same thing over and over. I can't survive there. That's my strength. Understand? So it started with it started with my personality, my strength as a personality, right? That was what informed my choice of engineering skill. You understand? So you can't choose something that is if you choose a path that is against your personality, you will struggle. It's like someone who does not like to see blood and going for medicine as surgery. You will struggle. You understand? You don't like to travel. You want to be a pilot. You don't like water. You want to be a naval officer. You will struggle. So you need to understand your person, your strength as a person. If I want to sell myself today, what will I talk most about myself? So that was what informed my choice of a career path, right? So I now started as a web developer. Web developer because what was I doing? I was um building websites for different people, different contexts, right? Different contexts. Now it got to a time that it started becoming boring to me, right? That was when I eventually moved into cloud engineering. And now, even in cloud engineering, most of the things we do in cloud engineering is repetition, right? You're doing almost the same thing over and over and over. Now, but the difference now is that I now begin to create solutions, right? I now begin to create solutions. Now, when I see a problem in the cloud feed, I go ahead to build a solution. When I identify the problem in a business, I can be watching YouTube, right? And I find something very, very uncomfortable. I look for a way to build something to solve that problem. Now, I'm not building it to necessarily deploy it commercially, right? I'm just building it to, it's just critical thinking, just to solve problems, right? And when I'm talking to, again, when I'm in an interview, when I'm talking to people, I talk mostly about these things that I do. The problem I saw on YouTube, how I was able to build something to solve it. You understand? Those are the things that you, it makes you sound exciting. These are the things that shows your critical thinking. So for someone, myself and another person were in the interview, and the only thing you're talking about is what every other engineer is doing, right? Deploying an application, maintaining an application, making an application secured, making an application available. This is the only thing you're talking about. But here I am. I'm talking about the problems I'm seeing and how I try to solve the problem by building something they are not even familiar with, something they're not used to. You understand? So understand your person, know your strength as a person, right? And use that to choose a career path. That is what keeps you driven in your tech journey. Next question. I hope that answers it.
Yes, sir. Hello. So can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir.
All right. Okay. What order? Do we still have more questions in the house? Okay. All right.
My
Okay.
hand is raised
Uh,
though. My hand is raised though.
all right. All right. Okay. 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 Please go on with your question. Let's make this the last question. We still have one
Uh,
more speaker.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful session. I've learned a lot, honestly speaking, and for answering my initial question. So I have more work to go and do on cloud. So my next question is kind of a little bit different, but I feel that personally it's going to be a learning opportunity for me and as well as others. You know, you shared a very important story about, you know, your interview experience with a company and you didn't get hired, and you shared the feedback from the company as to your strength. But I don't know if you will be open enough to share the reason why you didn't get hired for that particular role from two perspectives, from your own assessment of your interview perspective and the company's specific reason, if they shared one with you. And the reason I'm asking that is because I've had a similar experience. So I felt I want to know if you know, something like that, if you are open to sharing anyway.
Yeah, of course. Now, one thing about interview, because I also have also run a company and I also interview people, right? One thing about interview is the people who are interviewing you, they have they have certain metrics they are measuring you against. You understand? So in my organization, currently, I also work as an interviewer, right? So we have a template of what the candidate must talk about for him to pass the interview, and we will now mark them, right? We score them between 1 to 7. 1 means no demonstration of the skill. 7 means very convincing demonstration of that particular technical question. Right now, two things: you can fail the interview because you didn't demonstrate enough, not because you didn't know enough. You didn't demonstrate enough, right? Secondly, you can fail the interview because s- someone has demonstrated more than you, not because you didn't demonstrate enough. You understand? Now, I'm in a world, I'm in an environment where when you fail an interview, they will give you feedback of why you failed, right? They'll give you feedback on why you failed. I don't think that happens in a place like Nigeria. Mm. Uh, in my case, right, they won't tell you why the other person passed, right? But they will let you know that you did well, but they have candidates who are more suitable for the role. Going back to what I said first, which if you're ever going to do interview, you must inculcate. You must inculcate. Learn how to communicate. Learn how to talk. And don't forget, talking is also based on information. That's why you need to have enough hands-on experience, have enough industry experience. I've explained industry experience could be either by hands-on or by talking to people. Have enough things to talk about because you don't know what they are checking. So they ask you, for example, the way they ask do interview here is uh give us an example of a time where you managed a quality service. Right now, there's a way you must answer it. They call it STAR method. STAR, STAR. Situation, the situation of the contest, the task, what you need to do, the action, what you did, and the result, what you achieved. You must follow that path. STAR method. Situation, the problem, the task, what you need to do, action, what you did, and result, what you achieved by that. So it is now how much you can talk. You understand? How much you can talk, how much you can speak. So if you talk more, you give enough example, you give more technical examples, you are likely to get 7. You have convincing demonstration. But if you talk, you know it, but you talk, but you didn't talk much because you are an introvert. You get 5. Not because you don't know it, but because you didn't give enough examples, right? So for interviewer, it's not just for them to perceive that you know it. They have to mark you against. They have a scoring system they must mark you against. All right. So the environmental context also play a part. Someone can fail you because they don't like your face in Nigeria. But yeah, um, they have a metrics that they are judging you against. All right. I hope that clears it. Uh, if there's no other question,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That did justice to it. But sir, you didn't give us the specifics of your own scenario. What particular technical question were you asked that made them maybe you didn't talk as much as possible and all?
again, like I said, um, I can't remember all the technical questions, right? But it's about building infrastructure. All right. Building infrastructure, of course, when you talk, they will have follow-up questions, right? It's about like 2 hours interview. You present, you do a PowerPoint presentation. And one thing here also, they will give you focus ahead. They will give you scenario ahead. For example, they can give you a scenario of you have been employed by a government agent who is trying to migrate their legacy infrastructure to cloud, right? How would you manage this project? So they will ask you to do 10 minutes presentation, and they will now ask you technical question based on that presentation. Now, again, like we said, um, when you fail interviews, sometimes it's not because you're not good enough. It's just because you don't have the answer sheet. It's just because what you are saying is not eating the answer sheet. That's you understand. So it's not because most of the time it's not because you're not good enough. So of course, there are people who fail interview because they're not good enough, right? I've failed interview because I wasn't suitable for the job, right? I failed interview because they had other people who were better. Like I said, I also make interviews. I also grade interviews, right? So I will give you an example. I'll give you an example. In fact, this were Nigerians who have done the interview. They asked them to record answers 3 minutes. They give them 3 minutes for each answer to record, right? Then this brother was recording answer in 1 minute. What would you say convincingly in 1 minute? And you have someone who did 3 minutes just talking about everything he has done. 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. You understand? So it's not because he's not competent. It is because I have something I must make against. I have a metric, I have a score sheet that says give this person 7 if he says if he gives convincing examples, and give this person 3 if his answers were not examples were not convincing enough. So eventually I will give him 3 or 4, not because he is not competent, but because he didn't say enough. And I'll give this person 7, not because he's more competent than him, but because he gave enough examples. And at the end of the day, when you collect all the results, the other person will have like 35. You, even with your 20 years of experience, you will have like 15, and you fail the interview. You understand? And this person will get it, not because he's more competent, but because he performed. I usually say to people, interviews are, you see every interview as an audition. See every interview as an audition, and you're an actor, right? So you play the part. You are not played. They want a senior engineer role, and you are currently a junior engineer. Play drama just the way you do drama. Play the role of a senior engineer in that interview. Act like one. Don't act like a junior engineer. Speak like a senior engineer. Give examples of a senior engineer, right? Because they have a metrics they're measuring you against. So you have to hit those metrics. I hope that answered it.
Perfectly, sir. I have one last question for you, sir.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Yes, my last question is that you were talking about the fact that you should niche and not be everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Mr.
Can you hear
Abdullah,
me?
for that powerful presentation.
Hello?
I can hear you, but it looks like Enoch is
Yes,
talking.
Yeah,
yes.
I said my last question is that talking about cloud now, do you advise to niche and focus on, let's say, only Azure or only AWS or only GCP, or we should learn everything for the purpose of
No. Understand your environment. That's why I said you should have a roadmap. Know what you want to be, where you want to be. Right. I'm 5 times AWS certified. Right. I know Azure a bit. That is not my strength. I know GCP a bit is not my strength. But I work in an AWS environment. You understand? That does not mean I will not grow to be to work in Azure like in the nearest future. But that's my focus. That's the niche I've created. That's the certifications I do. I'm in a community builder in AWS. Yes. So understand your environment, understand what you want to become. If you want to work in an organization where they use multi-platform, you know where you want to, you should be able to envisage this is an environment where I want to work. They use multi-platform this of course then you have to learn everything. But if you're thinking of working in an environment where they use GCP, then focus on that GCP. Understand? Made an instance of know where, understand the market, understand the demand, know where you create a roadmap. This is where I want to be. I want to be an expert in this, right? Or I want to be, what's it called? I just want to know everything about a platform. Then you can. It depends on what you want. Define your objectives and follow it, right? But again, even in learning multi-platforms, you can't know everything. You cannot. In AWS itself, right? They have specializations. They have engineers who are only focused on storage. They have engineers who are only focused on AI. They have engineers who are only focused. So they don't have people who are doing everything. So you can't do everything. You will kill yourself, right? But know what you want to do, focus on it, and be good at it. I can be in an interview and the only thing I talk about is compute. I can be in an interview and the only thing I talk about is it's like if security is my niche, I won't if security is my niche, I won't start looking for jobs in storage in database. You understand? I will focus on that security and look for job in that area of IT. I hope you understand. All right. Looks like Enoch is.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. My network freezed out earlier. Thank you very much for the powerful presentation. Please, if there will be more questions, please type your questions. Um, Once again, thank you, Mr. Olamide. Would have to invite Mr. Ravi for closing remarks. Yeah, Mr. Ravi, are you on the call with us? Are you here?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, okay. Welcome. So to everyone, Mr. Ravi is a reliability engineer at Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, where he leads reliability engineering initiatives supporting AI and GPU infrastructure across 100 global regions. His work focuses on designing reliable infrastructure platforms. He is a senior IEE member, conference speaker, and active contributor to the wider technology community. and has reviewed more than 100 uh, IEE research papers for IEE and Springer and Elsevier. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Ravi. Mr. Ravi, please would like to hear from you. Um, Mr. Olamide, would like to hear from you.
Yes. Hey, thank you all. So,
Olamide basically has given us a very powerful take on on the whole matter. And we wouldn't mind if you could turn on your camera so we could.
may I know, like, how many minutes I have? I can share my PPT if we have time. I know I joined a bit late. Are you guys able to hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen and continue my PPT. Okay. I think can someone allow me to share my screen? It seems someone else is sharing. I don't know who's sharing the screen. Can they stop sharing the screen?
You should be able to share, Ravi. I uh, I
No,
was sharing.
I'm getting the message. It says someone else is sharing. The host isn't allowing multiple presenters sharing for this meeting.
Okay. You want to try again now?
Yeah, I think it's working now. Yep. Okay. Perfect.
All right, you can go ahead to share.
I hope everyone can see the screen now.
Yes, you can
Perfect.
see.
Yeah. So hey, good day everyone, and thank you very much for the Bincom ICT community for inviting me for this talk. My name is Raviteja Reddy Mandala. I work as a lead site reliability engineer at Oracle. I'm an IEEE senior member, and today I want to discuss about code to competitive advantage. So where I want to discuss about a practical way to think about your differentiator, like whether you are a student or developer or entrepreneur, freelancer. The main idea is simple. The success in the technology comes from the connecting technical capability with real problems, where you have experience with clear users, reliability, trust, and business value. Let me go through my slides. I just prepared for this. Okay, so let us begin with the question on the slide, like what makes a tech professional stand out. So many people answers by listing the skills. If they are like in software, they talk about like I'm good with Java, I'm good with React, I'm good with AI, cloud, and all. So these skills are important, but they are not enough by themselves. Today, the skills are easier to access. Anyone can watch tutorials or use these AI assistants, copy the same code, and build basic features very quickly. That is why the market does not reward effort alone. It rewards visible, useful, trusted outcomes. So a commodity developer builds a feature that can be copied quickly. They may build a login page or dashboard from API or basic chatbot, which are useful. But if many people can copy the same thing, it's difficult to stand out. So a differentiated builder solves a high value problem in a way users can trust. This person understands the problem, like the user, like a business impact, and the trade-offs behind the solution. So the question is not only can I code, the strong question is why should anyone choose my solution? So that question is the foundation of the start. And this does not mean the skills are unimportant. Skills are the foundation. But once many people have similar skills, the difference comes from how clearly you connect those skills to a problem that matters and an outcome that someone can value. So the differential equation. So to make this practical, I want to introduce a framework on the slide, like the differentiator equation, where the differentiator equals the problem times the audience times edge times the trust. So first of all, like what pain is expensive. A good problem is not just interesting; it is repeated, painful, and costly. If the problem is not painful, people may like your idea, but they may not act on it. Second, the audience, like who has this problem? Are you helping students or are you helping small business owners, cloud engineers, support teams, or any operational teams? Like a clear audience makes the solution sharper. The third, the technical edge. What makes your approach hard to copy? Like it may be architecture, automation, domain knowledge, performance security, integration, or any user experience or reliability. Fourth, the trust signal. So why should people believe it works? Trust can come from the metrics like user feedback, case studies, uptime, audit logs, demos, security controls, or even real world usage. So if any part of this is weak, the differentiator becomes weak. So the clever code without a painful problem is not urgent. A clear problem without trust is hard to adopt. Um, so let's start with the pain and not the technology. So the first principle is to start with pain. A weak starting point is like I know Java, I know .NET or React or AI. So what can I build? So that question begins with the tool. Like tools are useful, but tools keep changing. If you start only with this tool, you may build a demo that looks good but does not solve the urgent need. A stronger starting point is who has a painful or repeated costly problem that I can solve better. So this question begins with the value like, uh, I mean, it makes you observe a real people and real workflows. Where are people wasting time? Like, where are they making repeated mistakes? Where are they losing money, facing risk, or doing manual work that should be automated? So, for example, an appointment reminder system sounds generic. If we describe it only as a messaging app. But if we say it helps small clinics reduce missed patient follow-ups, the value becomes clearer. The user is specific, the pain is costly, and the outcome can be measured. So when you're searching for ideas, listen for repeated frustration. If people complain about the same delay or the same error or the same manual process again and again, that is often a better signal than a random idea that sounds exciting. Yeah, build around a user, not a vague market. So that's the second principle. So many people say their product is for everyone. It sounds big, but it usually makes the product weaker. If you build for everyone, you often design for no one. A specific user gives you better decisions. So this slide shows you three user types, like the beginner, operator, and the decision maker. The beginner needs guidance, like low friction and fast wins. If a product is for beginners, the biggest problem may not be the advanced features. The biggest might be like the biggest problem may be a confusion for the beginner. An operator needs a reliability or visibility or accountability. Like operators, like engineers and support teams, they care about whether the system works under pressure. They need logs, they need alerts, they need dashboards or runbooks and all. And the decision maker needs risk reduction, like a measurable return on investment. They want to know what cost is saved, or what risk is reduced, what revenue is protected, and what outcome is improved. So move from copy paste features to durable advantage. So the third principle is to move these. So this slide shows four levels: like feature, capability, advantage, and defensibility. So a feature is what the system does. For example, it sends alerts, generate reports, upload files, display analytics. A capability is what the user can now achieve because of that feature. Because of an alert, the user can respond faster. Because of a report, the manager can make a better decision. And the third one, advantage, explains why the outcome is better than alternatives. So maybe your system is faster, easier, or more reliable, or more secure, um, but better integrated or better aligned to one workflow. The defensibility explains why it is hard to copy quickly. This can come from domain knowledge like strong architecture, trusted relationships, unique data, compliance readiness, operational excellence, or continuous user feedback. AI and cloud raise the bar. So anywhere coding is easier to generate, but infrastructure is easier to rent. So that's the good news because more people can create like even students, small teams, and entrepreneurs can build prototypes faster. Like use cloud platforms without buying servers, and use AI tools for coding, documentation, or testing and analysis and design. But it is also challenging because when creator becomes easier, basic creation is no longer enough. If many people can generate similar code, your differentiator must move higher. The differentiator shifts to judgment, architecture, reliability, trust, and user insight. So the judgment means knowing what problem is worth solving and what should not be built. Architecture means like designing systems that can grow and remain maintainable. And reliability means the system works when users need it. Trust means users believe the system is safe, accurate, and accountable. So user insight meaning you understand the workflow better than someone who is only copying the features. Reliability can be your strongest differentiator. So now I want to bring the SRE lens. SRE is like nothing but site reliability engineering because this connects directly to my professional experience. So reliability can be better, can be a stronger differentiator. Users do not buy architecture diagram; they buy the confidence uh, that the product works when it matters. So these the important in cloud systems, financial systems, healthcare platforms, or educational tools. So availability is a business promise. Let's say if users cannot access your product, the value disappears at the exact moment they need it. And latency is like a user experience. So a slow system may technically work, but users still feel frustration. In many cases, speed becomes part of the trust. And observability is a decision quality. Like if you cannot see what is happening in the system, you cannot respond intelligently. Logs, metrics, traces, dashboards, and alerts that are not just technical tools, they're decision tools. Incident response is it's like a brand protection. Like every system can fail. The question is how quickly you detect the issue, how clearly you communicate, how safely you recover, and how well you learn from it. In critical systems, the trust is not a slogan; it is engineered the way. So the fourth principle is that trustworthy systems win longer. So users are becoming more careful. They worry about privacy, security, AI, accuracy, outages, and all. So this slide shows four parts of trustworthy systems: security, explainability, governance, and resilience. So security means protecting users' data and workflows. It includes access controls, encryption, least privilege, secure design, dependency management, monitoring, and safety. Explainability, meaning making outcomes understandable. Like let's say if an AI system gives a recommendation, the user should understand the reasoning at the right level. And governance means setting limits, ownership, and accountability. Like who owns the system, who approves the changes, what data can it use, what should it never do, who reviews the incidents. Resiliency means designing for failure, like not just for success. So network fails, API change traffic, it can spike, users make mistakes, and data can be messy. A resilient design handles these realities gracefully. So, how do we apply it? Uh, so first, observe, find a repeated friction, listen to complaints, watch where people use spreadsheets, screenshots, email chains, um, because there is no better system in the real world. Second, frame it. Like name the high value problem. A strong problem statement tells us like who is affected, what pain they have, why it matters, and what better outcome is possible. The third, build. So create the smallest useful solution. Do not try to build everything at once. Fourth, measure, track adoption, trust, and outcomes. Like are people using it? Like did it reduce time? Did it reduce mistakes? And fifth, improve. So use feedback to strengthen the edge. Every user interaction gives information. Like every issue gives insight. This loops works for startup ideas like portfolio projects, internal tools, or career growth. Um, Workshop movement. So now let's turn as a framework into a simple workshop movement. Like your unique value proposition should answer one question: like why should someone choose the solution? The sentence pattern on the slide is for specific user, like who struggles with a specific pain. My solution helps them achieve an outcome by using a unique approach driven by a trust signal. Here is an example from the slide. Like for small clinics that struggle with missed patient follow-ups, our system helps like staff reduce manual tracking by automation reminders or escalation with metrics or audit logs. This sentence works because it names the user, the pain, the outcome, the approach, and the proof. It is much stronger saying than saying we built a healthcare app. So career impact. So how to communicate your differentiator? Like now, let us connect into this to a career growth. So many talented people do good work, but they do not communicate it well. They describe tasks instead of impact. They list tools instead of outcomes. They explain effort instead of the value. So on your resume or LinkedIn, lead with outcomes like scale and trust signals. Instead of writing like worked on Kubernetes, explain what improved because of that work. Like did it improve deployment reliability? Did it reduce manual effort? Did it support higher scale? Did it reduce the incident risk? Like, instead of writing using Java or Python for automation, explain what the automation achieved. Like, did it save hours? Did it reduce repeated work? Did it improve accuracy and all? Even in the interviews, tell the story using four parts like problem, decision, trade-off, and result. So problem means what was wrong or needed improvement. Decision means um, what you choose to do. Trade-off means what options you considered and why. Result means what changed because of your work. So for talks and portfolios, make your experience expertise like visible through a clear narrative. Like a portfolio should not be only screenshots or like GitHub links. It should explain the problem, the user, the architecture, the reliability approach. So your work has more value when people can understand its impact. So learn to speak in the language of outcomes or trust and value. So as we move towards the closing part of the talk, I want to give 5 questions to carry forward. First, who exactly am I helping? This prevents vague thinking. The second, what painful problem am I solving? This checks whether the work matters. Third, why is my approach technically better? This pushes you beyond the copy paste features. Fourth, how will users experience the value? Because value is not only what we build, it is what the user feels and achieves. Fifth, what trust signal improves it works. Like this turns claims into evidence. Like a trust signal can be a metric or demo, testimonial, audit log, or case study. So answering these questions can turn effort into direction. Like use them before starting a project, applying for a role, preparing a pitch, or explain your experience. So before I close, I want to open the door for discussion. This slide gives us a few panel discussion starters. Like the first question is like, how do I choose a niche without limiting myself? The second question is like, what makes a portfolio project feel real to employers or users? The third question is how can young professionals build credibility early? Because the credibility comes from consistency, visual work, learning in public, contributing to communities, and all. The fourth question is like, what mistakes make technical products hard to trust? Like some common mistakes are like over promising, ignoring security, hiding failures, or not measuring reliability and all. These questions can help move the discussion from theory to real career decisions. So do not just become better at building things, become better at building things that people choose, trust, and remember. That's the heart of this talk. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for the opportunity. Yep. Yeah, feel free to answer any of your questions. Let me stop sharing my screen. Yep. Okay. I take it as no questions. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Ravi, for that presentation, and thank you very much for keeping to the brief time that we had. It's a pleasure having you here. Really.
Yes, it's my pleasure. Yep. Thank you
No.
all.
Yes, sir. So, does anyone have questions? Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Ravi, I didn't see much of the presentation because my network was freezing out. But I have a question. I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, to somebody who is trying out cloud computing, and or what would be your one piece of advice to such a person?
Yeah, I'll say, yeah. So there are many free trial versions for cloud to test your ideas. I'll say start with like doing. There are many like free certification courses available from different cloud providers. So start with that. Use a trial version for them and build something as a project, and that will help you a showcase for your resume or as a project as well. that will give you like good ideas to where to start the career and all.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm definitely going to look into this personally on my side. Yeah. Okay. Um. Once again, very very appreciative that you could make our time to be here, Mr. Olamide as well. Thank you for coming. It's been a wonderful session. So, um, yes, I just want to put this out here before we close. If you've had questions, even if it's from the first speaker, Mr. Olamide, that you did not have the chance to ask, you can throw them right in. All right then. I believe we've all been duly informed, and I believe we've all learned something one way or the other. Again, big hats to the speakers. We would be, we'd love to do this some other time. And as usual for the participants, we have the ICT Career Talk as a recurring event. So if you enjoy this and you want to be a part of the next one, you want to be here, you can definitely stay tuned to our media space. Thank you once more, everyone, for attending. Have a lovely day.